I think one of the points Mr. Shea was trying to make was that these universities shouldn't be so expensive in the first place. None of us want to take away Pell Grants and loan support, et cetera, financial aid for anyone that needs it. Our point is it shouldn't cost this much in the first place, to the point that we need $400,000, whether it's subsidized or not, to pay for these degrees. I'm curious, Mr. Shea, when you started asking all these questions and making noise at Brown University, what was their response to you?
They were not very happy. The Brown administration told people not to respond to our emails, and then they hit us with a disciplinary investigation, charging me personally for bizarre things such as emotional/psychological harm. Apparently that's a real student code of conduct violation, but I was found not responsible for anything. But they also dragged in the entire board of the Brown Spectator and charged all of us. And luckily we were cleared, but I think this shows that there's rot and they're trying to cover it up.
Isn't that interesting that they had a problem with your free speech and the work you were doing, but they didn't have a problem with the pro-Palestinian encampments and all the anti-Semitism? Isn't that just wildly ironic that they would go after little old you, just a student that's banging the drum and kicking and screaming about high cost, and that pissed them off so much that they started an investigation and came after you, but they didn't have a problem with the anti-Semitism all over their campus?
This is certainly a double standard. In 2023, we saw that a large group of protesters were actually arrested for trespassing. They invaded one of the buildings and they were asked to leave. They didn't leave. They were arrested, and Brown told the prosecutor to drop the charges. They weren't disciplined at all. I think there's a clear double standard here.
Well, I hope you'll keep after it. The fact that the Democrats on this committee are going after you, not hard, I'll give them credit, but trying to nail you down on a Pell Grant question that really doesn't have anything to do with the point we're trying to make here. The point is, if college wasn't so expensive, we wouldn't even need all this financial aid because it wouldn't cost a fortune to go to college. It shouldn't cost $400,000, and kids that can't afford it wouldn't need the aid that they get because they would have aid, but we would need $400,000 of it. And so I hope that every child, every student in America can go to whatever college they want, but they're not going to as long as class sizes are limited and the price tags keep going up. Another interesting tidbit that I have found in all of this is all these endowments. One of my colleagues on the other side said taxpayer money was meant to go towards funding this. If an Ivy League institution has billions of dollars in their endowments, then I'm wondering how much needs to be given to this university with extra taxpayer dollars. Dr. Cooper, will you comment on that?
Absolutely. Some of these Ivy League universities have endowments in the tens of billions. Harvard is an endowment north of $50 billion. And these institutions actually are less likely to provide institutional financial aid than other private colleges with fewer resources.
And yet my colleague over here seems to just be outraged that we would want Harvard or Brown or name your university to use their endowment billions to educate the masses rather than to use taxpayer dollars to further their cost escalations and their price increases. Am I missing something, Dr. Cooper?
I think you're right. Harvard and other Ivy League institutions could certainly be doing a lot more with the tremendous resources they have available to make college more affordable for their students and to expand to more talented students.
Well, I praise your work. I'm sorry on behalf of my colleagues on the left that seem to be so angry with your exposing of the corruption and the collusion and the exorbitant cost increases of Ivy League educations. I can't hear one peep out of them with respect to the anti-Semitism in these same Ivy League institutions. They're all mad at President Trump for actually standing up against this anti-Semitism that we're seeing. They're mad at President Trump for trying to bring down the cost and saying to these Ivy League institutions, we're not going to keep sending you money of U.S. taxpayer dollars as long as you're helping to propagate this anti-Semitism. They're doing nothing about this. And Democrats are so mad at the president for standing up for the students and for standing up for the taxpayers that they instead are wasting your time going after you. So keep it up, Mr. Shea, Dr. Cooper, Mr. Martin. I appreciate your work. and I encourage you to keep the pressure on Brown, especially Mr. Shea. Don't be discouraged, and know that the American people, the vast majority of the American people, support your efforts, and we stand with you, and we share your views. Thank you.